1807, 1790, 1781, 1712, 1664. Someone's taken the door off so you can actually see in there. This is crazy. I'm here in the town of Mystic, Connecticut. I found the Whitehall Cemetery, and it's the most amazing little cemetery. It's crazy. It's this small plot of forest surrounded by all this urban development. There's a freeway that runs right next to it. There's some old warehouses. There's some condominiums on one side, and there's a huge hotel. And it's just this one little piece of forest. Within it, there's this grassy cemetery. These headstones are all from the 1700s. They're all absolutely amazing. This is an absolute hidden gem, guys. If you're ever in the area, come check this out. There's a tomb that you can actually get into because the door has been removed, so we're going to take a look in there. I don't know, it's amazing. Let's have a look. Once stood here, on the banks of the old Mystic River, a mansion built by John Gallup Jr. in the year 1653. John Gallup Sr., his father, was one of the earliest English settlers here in New England, arriving around 1630. After his father's death, John Gallup Jr. was given 300 acres of land in reward for his father's assistance in negotiating with the local native population. It is that plot of land that begins the story of Whitehall Mansion. John Gallup Jr. was a very prominent man in colonial affairs. He was a selectman of Stonington, a representative at Hartford, a shipowner, a trader, an Indian interpreter, and captain of the First Company of Connecticut Forces. During this period, between about 1650 and 1675, an estimated 30,000 to 40,000 English settlers had acquired homes and settlements along the coast and up the length of the Connecticut, Thames, and Mystic Rivers. This influx of foreign invaders, as the natives saw them, led to the King Philip's War in 1675. Captain John Gallup led his company to the Indian fort at Kingston. This day would later be known as the Great Swamp Fight. He was killed in action and is buried with others in a mass grave near Smith's Castle at Wickford, Rhode Island. The original mansion no longer exists. The home you are seeing here was built on the foundation of the original mansion by a doctor named Dudley Woodbridge, who purchased the property in 1760. It is not known what became of the original home. It may have burned, but it is also likely that the original structure was torn down when Dr. Woodbridge built this home between 1771 and 1775. In 1962, the home was moved just down the street in order to make way for the new interstate. The cemetery itself dates back to 1644 and contains the graves of 13 Revolutionary War veterans. It is the oldest cemetery in Mystic. The headstones in this cemetery are amazing examples of 17th and 18th century stone carving. Also in this cemetery are some graves of formerly enslaved people, such as Mr. Quash Williams, who was born a slave in 1762. So, let's go take a look around and read some of these old headstones. In memory of Will Thompson, who died May 11th, 1819. In memory of Miss Mercy Williams, wife of Thomas Williams, who died July 26, 1800, in the 79th year of her age. In memory of Mr. Thomas Williams, who was killed in Fort Griffwood, September 6th, 1781, in the 60th year of his age. In memoriam, Robert Parke, 1580 to 1664, born in Preston, England, 1580, sailed from Cowes Isle of Wight on the brig Arabella, March 29, 1630, landing in Boston, Mass, June 17, 1630. In 1639, he removed to Wethersfield, Connecticut. In 1649, he removed to New London, Connecticut. About 1655, he removed to Mystic, Connecticut, where he died on February 4th, 1664, and was buried in this cemetery. He was a close friend and secretary of Governor Winthrop of Massachusetts. This tablet was erected by his descendants in 1930. March the 19th, 1781, departed this life Mr. John Williams in the 39th year of his age. Death is a debt to nature due, which I have paid, and too must you. In memory of Lucy Williams, who died May 24th, 1814, aged 61 years. In memory of Mr. Robert Williams, who departed this life in June 1761, in the 39th year of his age. This one says, in memory of an infant son to Captain Mark Williams and Mrs. Deborah, his wife, who died May 26, 1793, I believe. In memory of Mr. Nathan Williams, who departed this life March 10th, 1781. In memory of J. Not sure of the first name. Williams, 1733. Dr. Dudley Woodbridge died the 4th of October, 1790, in his 86th year.
Dudley Woodbridge is the man who built the current mansion around 1775. He came from a long line of ministers, and although he received an education and spent a few years in the ministry, it did not last. Instead, he decided to become a doctor and became a very successful physician, although it appears he did not go to school to learn his craft. He once built a tavern that also doubled as a doctor's office and clinic in the 1750s. In the second half of his life, Dudley Woodbridge gave up the tavern house and acquired the land that held the old Gallup homestead, where he built the current Whitehall Mansion that we know today.
Benjamin Woodbridge, son of Dr. Dudley Woodbridge, died April 1770. In memory of Mrs. Esther, wife of Mr. Benadam Gallup, who died August 18th, 1751. 92 years old she was. In memory of George Gallup, a Revolutionary officer who died May 3rd, 1781, in the 31st year of his age. In memory of Mrs. Hannah Gallup, relict of Captain Nathaniel Gallup, who departed this life 1810, 90 years old. In memory of Hannah, daughter to Mr. Silas and Mrs. Sarah Gallup, who died September 1785. How beautiful all these old stones are. Mr. George Gallup. Some smaller ones sunken down in here. Here lieth interred the body of Isaac, son of William Wheeler, died in 1739. Here lieth the body of Isaac Wheeler, who died January 5th, 1712, 66 years old. Here lieth the body of Mrs. Martha Wheeler, who died February 14th, 1717, 79 years of her age. James Dean, born at Taunton, Mass. 1648-1649. Married to Sarah Tisdale, 1678. Settled in Stonington, Connecticut, 1677. Removed to Plainfield, Connecticut in 1696, and there died May 29th, 1725, aged 76 years. Sarah Tisdale, his wife, born at Taunton, 1648-49, died at Plainfield, April 26th, 1726, aged 77 years. In memory of James Dean, who died September 2nd, 1836, 85 years. In memory of Nancy Dean, wife of Jesse Dean, who departed this life August 21st, 1807, in the 97th year of her age. From sin and sorrow thou art fled, to Jesus Christ who for thee bled. So I'm headed over to this tomb over here that looks like someone's taken the door off so you can actually see in there. Let's head over there and take a look. Kind of creepy. Whoa. Never seen the inside of one of these before. Crazy.
Interestingly enough, as I was researching this video, I learned that an underground vault, such as this, are a rarity for colonial cemeteries, and was used only on wintry days when the earth was so frozen the graves could not be dug until spring. It's hard to imagine multiple dead bodies lying in here frozen, waiting for the ground to thaw and receive a proper burial. It makes you wonder, is there any forensic evidence from that time still present here? Perhaps a strand of hair from old Dr. Dudley Woodbridge? Well, that's going to do it for this video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed. If so, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Once again, thanks for watching.